So, I got a question for y'all.
Oh, shit.
Like, real quick. Like, how do y'all fire it off? Is Russia wrong for keeping Brittany Griner?
Hell yeah.
Yes?
Are they wrong?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's a political point.
She
It's
is
not-
she is a pawn. She's
Oh,
a political
wait.
pawn.
Is it wrong? So this is where I'm asking y'all because is it like, yes, there's a law. America's different.
Yeah.
Weed is not a big thing here.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it is.
It's
depending on where you go.
there's
Yeah.
some people doing life of that shit.
Okay.
And
So is she wrong?
no, I don't think so.
Oh, is she wrong?
I mean, is they wrong?
No.
well,
That's,
let me do this.
If it's their law.
Is she wrong? She is wrong.
Yes.
For breaking the law in another motherfucking country. That was not the smartest thing to do.
Okay.
Hey.
But
The punishment
we
should
can
fit the crime.
we can also recognize she is being used as a political pawn.
Okay,
So
she could have got caught with
before
that
you-
same
hold up,
thing in
J.Carey, before you go.
Philippines, and they would have
I
killed
think
her.
Jamelle said it right.
Feel me?
The punishment should fit the crime.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Across the board. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, J.Carey.
I don't know, man.
Well-
It's okay. So it's the whole Britney thing is weird because there was like a year prior, there was an American dude, a teacher, and he got caught with something similar, and he's doing like 15 years.
In Russia?
Yeah, no one talked about him. But here's the thing: it's a high-profile case, all that. Now, here's me personally. I'm a smoker.
Okay.
I don't take the pack where the pack is not allowed. That's just me. Especially in another country.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. I
that
agree with
is,
that, yeah.
I can deal with taking my weed to Utah and they can do some stupid shit in Utah. But you go to Mexico, you go to fuck, and like they catch you with the shit, it's a wrap. Right? You go to Indonesia, like it's a wrap.
But should it be a rap?
Let me show you. That's their fucking law.
I understand.
And I think that's the argument. I think that's the jig. I think in America I know you said we do have laws about weed in America, but
some are
America,
wacky, right?
We are very lenient about a lot of shit. And so
Depends
when
on
you go
where
to
you go.
another country, hey, this is the law.
In America, it depends on where you go.
Okay, put it this way.
Don't do
You're-
that shit in Louisiana.
You're going well, okay, but that's a whole different because again, that's stateside, right? Okay, I get that because every state.
I said it's America though.
But again, if you're going to another country, you're going through customs, and you go through customs, and they catch you with a J or a fucking vape pen. Do you think the customs agent is going to be like, under what circumstance would you ever think that would? No, they're going to throw the book at you. Then when they find out you are somebody,
Then they're going to really bring it on your part. Yeah.
That's why, because two things can be true. We said like, is she wrong? Yes,
She's
That wa-
definitely wrong.
She's wrong. She broke the law of another country. Two, and I said like it was definitely not the smart thing to do. But
okay, right? Right.
we can also recognize she is being used as a political tool.
I mean, you saw who they
It's a
were trying to
political pawn, yeah.
negotiate.
Yes, and.
Yeah.
They were trying to negotiate.
Yes.
Nigga.
Yes.
What was his name?
Oh,
The
niggas.
Merchant of Death?
Yeah.
or
You
wanna
something
get
like
him?
that?
Niggas.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
they were trying to transfer a half. I wouldn't call her
See.
half-ass. She's a talented athlete.
Well,
But
but the sad thing about it is why she was over there. So you talk, she is
She
a
was
talented
playing ball.
athlete, but she was over there because they don't get
Don't make enough
paid as
money
much
over
over
here.
here.
Yeah.
So you
That's
talking
a
about
whole.
So again, but again,
that's the reason why,
she's
though.
over there.
Whole nother
She's
jig.
over there. So
That's
did
a
she have a
whole
lapse in
nother
judgment?
jig.
But not.
But
Yeah,
I,
like
whoa!
she
All I
really went
wanted
over
to
there.
ask if y'all thought it was okay. That's all I wanted.
Wait,
to do.
what was okay?
Y'all are
The-
angry.
the-
If what was okay?
The 9
She's
years they
been
gave her.
9 years.
I mean, they gave the other dude a
man.
year prior at 15. So
if it's
like,
if it's
damn.
1 year or 10 years, it don't matter. We know she's being used.
She's wrong, and
So
they're
that's
wrong.
why it don't give a fuck
Yeah.
that we know what it is. It's not right. It being what it is.
Yeah.
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 It's just,
I'm not even gonna do a but.
I know. It's
we just talked about it.
Again,
It's a long. Hey, next episode on Watch.
wash lawyers.
Let's get this shot in.
The cheers. Put women's sports on TV so we can watch and support them.
Facts. So they don't got to go to Russia.
Oh man, you just started another
Yeah, there you
episode.
go.
I got something to say about that, but go ahead.
They are on TV. How about motherfuckers watching?
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Shaking the table. Let's
And
go ahead.
once again, this is the Watch Podcast. As always, y'all are stupid as hell. I got my guys with me. My man J.Carey to my right.
Yeah.
My man Dre to my left.
What up? What up?
That dude Jamelle.
Why I had to go last?
I mean, you was in.
You don't know, it's okay. It's because the lemon's on the shirt. I'm cool with it.
I
Let's
don't
go.
like your
'cause you're
shirt.
black.
That's all right.
That's all right.
It's a weird shirt. Are they all lemons?
Citrus.
Citrus. Yeah, you're trying to get your antioxidants.
Look, I know somebody who likes it.
Lemons and mandarins.
There's a mandarins.
Mandarin orange.
Could be a navel orange.
Or sorry, it could be clementine.
Yeah.
And once again, people, these are the people that I keep around me.
Yeah.
Some say they are my friends. Some say they are my guys. But
You
we
would be
are
that
here. You better be that.
You better be that son.
So, we were joking about Brittany Griner and things like that, and how things work on that side. I think it's a weird segue, but my question to y'all, and this might not, I want to see how y'all go with this one. Is the grass greener on the other side? So you can take that in many, many ways. Like you can live in your truth and think about, shit, let's go over there. You know what I mean? Like, do you think about that? Go ahead, J.Carey. What you got, man?
Again.
Point of clarification.
Okay, go ahead.
You're just leaving it open.
Leave it open. I want to hear what you
It could
think.
be.
This is an umbrella.
It could just situations.
When
Period.
you're
Not
in-
just relationships,
when
but
you're in a
situations.
place, when
In
you're
general.
when
In
you're in a
general.
place,
Okay.
and you got your whole jig, are you always looking to your left and to your right? Like so, let's say in sports,
Yeah.
I'm that man. Am I always like, shit? I wonder what's going on over there.
On the other team.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's a broad thing. Like, how do you feel with your shit that you looking left and to your right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to
Okay,
me. J.Carey,
okay.
go ahead, man.
I think I'm about to win this hand, by the way.
I mean,
I vote.
we always want better, right?
Okay.
That's how humans work. Okay.
Not necessarily. I'm sorry.
Okay. No. You're right. Okay. I will put it. Let me not be general. I'll be very specific. I always want better,
Okay.
but at the same time, I have to always wonder. I have to also remember, like you said, the grass is greener. What's the counter argument to that? It's green wherever you water it, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. But what if I have an acre of green grass and there's 2 over there that I want? Like, is there a problem with wanting to look up? I don't think so. No, but we all have our different motivations.
So, J.Carey, let me ask you this, and this is across the board, Jamelle. You said, is it wrong to want to look up?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you want to look up? If you have all this green grass right here in front of you,
What if you overwater that grass?
see, you're going too far.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with the
digress.
grass in front of you?
No, I hear that.
Nothing wrong. If you over Jamelle's point, if you overwater the grass, it becomes bad.
Or do you have enough money to water the 2 acres?
So y'all, this is what I'm talking
But
about.
I mean, it
brought
goes
the
to the
metaphor.
conversation.
does
Bring
that.
the
It goes to the
I got it.
conversation.
I'm fucking with you.
No.
Dre, okay,
no.
to your
I'm
point,
fucking
Dre.
with you. No, keep
Hold
going.
on, to your point. If I got 2 amazing acres and I got enough money to water all this grass, and it's amazing, and then you happen to look up and look over there, like,
The 5-acre property across the way just became open.
Yeah.
So now you're not like.
now you're like, what the fuck?
You're asking why isn't it enough?
Why? No, why are you curious?
Well,
Why are you thinking about if you got this amazing thing right here, right in front of you? Why are you?
because most people think they equate being content to being stagnant.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Being content is being stagnant.
Could be.
People equate
Could be
that, which isn't
perceived
necessarily
that way.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Keep going, Jamelle.
No, it's to J.Carey's point, being content doesn't equate being stagnant. So the thought is, hey, if I'm not progressing, if I'm not doing better, if I'm not constantly getting higher and doing more and more and more, then I'm staying stagnant, and that's not okay, which is, again, in the current society as it constructed is the reason why we think that way.
So let me ask you this while you're on that. So growth is amazing.
Right.
You always want to strive for more.
Right.
But let's say
It might be oversold, though.
what you have in front of you is the growth. Maybe you should be putting your all into this. Maybe there's a lot of work to go into this. What's the point of you looking over there? So like, I'll use another situation. Like if I go to the gym, of course I want to focus on this. But what if the skinny person or the buff person is next to me, who I'm trying to get next to and trying to beat? You know what I mean? Let's say I jump 30 feet in the air, and this motherfucker over here jumped 40 feet in the air. You know what I mean? So I know growth, but I want that over there.
You're looking up, right? You're looking
up. To come back to the beginning of the conversation, I think it is a symptom of human nature. It is human nature to look up. I do not want to pigeonhole this conversation just in the guise of relationships, because I think when they hear this conversation, they're automatically thinking romantic relationships. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that could be work relationships. I think that could be work situations. It could be a smorgasbord.
Education,
if you will.
Yeah, it could be any life situation.
It could be a smorgasbord
if you will.
of different situations.
That's a 5-point word.
With that being said, I think that it is human nature to crave variety. I think it is human nature to look at what else is going on. It is not human nature to stay focused on one item. I don't believe that is human nature, one, and I definitely don't think that is what society is currently asking of us as it's currently
So you just hit me with, a different jig. You know what I mean? Like, human nature requires us to strive for more than just one jig, right?
Correct.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
And that helps me, that brings me back to another episode from monogamy and jigs like that. And like, you know what I mean? Are we supposed to be with one person? Are we supposed to be focused on this one jig? You know what I'm saying? And so if we are built this way, then how do we move forward?
Well,
Go.
I think it depends. Again, it depends on. So if this question is going around multiple situations, right? So you didn't want to bring it to relationships.
Not just relationships. It applies to it, but it's not just relationships.
Well, I'm going to bring it to relationships. I'm going to talk about relationships. So it kind of fits into what Jay said, right?
Romantic relationships.
Yes, thank you. Romantic relationships with a significant other, right? So
Your partner.
there may be,
or others.
I think it goes to what J.Carey said, that we equate being content to being stagnant. And what you said, like human nature, we're always looking forward to the next thing or progressing, right? To something else, something not better, but that we may perceive as better.
Right.
But when it comes to romantic relationships, that can maybe creep in. So I think that's when people look, it could be what's the next best thing. It could be general just unhappiness. It could be, I don't want to be in this situation in the first place. Okay, it could be a myriad of things, but ultimately I think when it comes to romantic relationships, I think, because I'm not in this camp, but I think that if someone sees the grass greener on the other side, it's all right. I'm looking at my situation. Clearly, I, in this hypothetical situation, am not being fulfilled in some way, or I'm not happy in my situation, or just something to where I am not fulfilled in my current romantic situation.
So Dre, let me ask you this: what are you expecting? And this is a question, J.Carey, Jamelle.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetically,
Long term.
I am
somebody totally different.
Yeah.
But what are you expecting? Because I hear what you're saying. Like you're looking. What is your expectations?
I got you. I think anyone looking to the other side, they're expecting that hole, whatever it is, that hole to be filled.
I am in a different camp. I think that it is human nature, and especially in our current society, we are taught from a young age to always progress onto something more.
You mean American society?
So American society. So if we were going to say that, hey, you're in first grade, now you need to go to second grade. You got a bachelor's degree, now you need to get a master's degree. We are cultured to think that we always need to progress into the next thing. And now all of a sudden, when it comes to a romantic relationship, in Dre's point, now, oh no, fuck everything that you've been taught all 18 years. Now you're just supposed to stop. How do you let me give you this one example. If you are a football player, you've been taught your entire life, between these lines, you take somebody's fucking head off, you are tackling, you are passing, you are you are an animal.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you step off these lines, oh no, you're supposed to be the nicest person in the world. What sense does that make? How do you culture somebody to be a fucking savage for 18 years, and then when they get millions of dollars, you're just like, oh, why aren't you out feeding the homeless?
It's expectations. It's taught, is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
It's what you're trained to think about how I should go into situations. I have to think a certain way. I have to be a certain way.
Right.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the jig that I'm trying to, question. Is just like, why? You know what I mean?
Life is complex. Life is complex. But I don't think that's asking too much. Yeah, I'm gonna raise you up for 16, however long people
Call
play
it
football,
18.
whatever. Okay, why? I don't see it being hard for a majority of people to separate. Yo, I'm on the in between these lines. I got fucking helmet and shoulder pads on. I can go all in. When I'm off, that's it.
I'm glad you said that.
That's it.
So let me take it to a different level then. You are classically trained, if you will, as a lawyer, and you were taught to be a savage in the courtroom. How do you turn that off?
Because
everything that you've taught, you've had to go to school for 22 years, from elementary school all the way to your law degree, and now all of a sudden, I got to turn that off.
that's not just being a lawyer, though. That's any situation.
Exactly.
Any situation, right? So you go with the lawyer, right? How do you turn it off? Because you're not in the fucking courtroom anymore, my guy.
But I mean, like,
What do you mean how you turn it off? Like you're a human being.
As a lawyer, you're working 18 hours a day doing lawyer stuff.
But as you were capable of either playing a certain role or adapting to whatever situation you went into. So like, let's say,
I think that's asking a lot.
is it because we go to school for however many fucking years? Was it 12 at least? Like grade school.
Something
We go
like
to school
that.
for 12 fucking years.
Public
Does
school.
grade school teach me how to be a fucking entrepreneur?
No,
Or a
but it
serial
teaches you
entrepreneur?
how to be in society as
The
a person.
basics.
No, it
the
teaches-
basics. I need to wake up. I need to go to work. I need to take a lunch, and then I come home and I go to sleep.
How
It's
does
the
that
same thing
equate
that's
to
been
being?
taught.
How does that
You're-
equate to being a serial entrepreneur? Because I wake up, I go to
doesn't.
work, I
That's
go
what
from
I-
9
that's
to
my
5.
point. That's my
But
point.
I can separate. Look, this is what I learned from school, but this is my situation here.
being
I
an-
know the rules of this situation, so I'm going to apply that.
Being an entrepreneur will be counter to what you have been taught your entire life. They
And
don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur in school. They teach you how to go to work in school.
That's what I'm saying. If now in my entrepreneur role, I can turn the shit off I learned from school because that doesn't apply. At least a lot of it doesn't apply.
How many people are entrepreneurs?
How many businesses around this fucking block? A lot
And
of
how many
people.
people? But my point there is, how many people work for those businesses?
All right, okay,
Do-
okay.
do you get what I'm saying?
I get what
know
you're
what
saying,
you're
but
saying.
I'm
I got
saying
you, I
like
got
there
you.
are people you can separate it. It is possible. It's not like asking the world to separate. I'm in this situation. I follow these rules.
I'm going to cut you off real quick, KP, because I'm going to put my
Go
point,
ahead.
and this
Go
is what I wanted to bring up
I'm
because
gonna
I was
cut you off
talking.
after you cut you off.
I was talking to somebody about this very topic today, and the topic or the phrase "having your cake and eating it too" came
That's what I
up.
was gonna bring up.
Right?
I don't know what that phrase means.
I hate that phrase because it's a dumbass phrase. Because if I have cake, I want to eat the shit.
I know what it means. I don't get the phrase, but keep going. Sorry.
Before you go, having your cake and eat it too, meaning you have all the things that you need and you're still looking around.
Yeah.
Am I
Brings it
getting-
back to the original conversation. Yeah.
Okay,
What-
go ahead.
Yeah. But to the point of the why the phrase doesn't make sense. If I have cake, I'm gonna eat the fucking cake.
That's the point of having the cake.
That's what you're supposed to do
Right.
with the cake, right? So if it's human nature to say, "Oh, hey, here's some cake," I'm just gonna look at it. Fuck no, I want to eat the cake, right? It is human nature to go about, and again, I do not want to limit this just to romantic relationships. But if I'm at a job that I've been working at, let's say 10 years, I'm still going to be looking around like, damn, I could go to another job and make a little bit more money. Even if I don't want to, I'm still going to look and be like, well, shit, let me think about going to this other job.
Well, I think this is a tough topic to. It's a tough topic to really address broadly, right? Because it really depends on the situation. So in that example, right? So I have a job for 10 years. It's blessed me to, I can put food on the table for my family. I can provide a roof. I can give clothes. I can send my kids to college, what have you. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So, or on the other hand, you've been in that same job for 10 years, and let's say, yeah, you can do all this, but there's some stuff you can't do, right? There's nothing wrong with like, okay, the shit I can't do, I want to do. So why? It's not grass is greener. I want to progress. I want to look forward to something else. Now, if I want to stay in this, that's cool too. And that's where I think the problem is. If someone who's like, we said, content equals stagnant, and that's frowned upon. If I can provide for my family, if I can like be happy, if I can take care of all my bills, take care of my family, I can go to work, come home, and I am like, I'm cool. Like the problems I have are problems I can deal with. That shouldn't be frowned upon.
Most people aren't
So,
like that.
yeah,
though.
so J.Carey, like,
I think most people
help
are.
me out. Like, so I think Dre was sending home a point of like, I should be allowed to strive for more is what I'm getting from you. I want to get more. It's not that the grass is greener over there. I just want more.
Can I put one little extra thing
Go
on it?
ahead. And J.Carey, I want you to respond.
The
to
reason
that.
why I think it's okay for someone to be content. It's okay for someone to say, look, this is my niche, this is my zone, this is where I'm at. I ain't got no problems. It's okay because there is always someone else who's saying, this is not enough. I want more. I want to challenge something. I want to push harder and further. And those are the folks that drive a lot of shit. And there's always going to be those folks. That's why it's like, I get the arguments, like, oh, we can't let society fall into being lazy, blah, blah, blah. There's always going to, like we said, human nature, there's always going to be somebody pushing the envelope. There's always going to be somebody progressing, experimenting, trying new shit. And there's going to be those folks that are not.
Right.
But we need both.
But see, you're talking about something totally different. Striving to want more is one topic. Like, it's, of course, as a human nature, we want more. We want to be better. We want to do this. But looking left and right, wondering what they are doing, that's the
Like,
question.
if the grass is green, right? If I'm in this one job and, hey, such and such at such and such company, they'll pay you $10K more. All right, cool. Now you got to drive 30 extra minutes one way. That's an hour more each way. All right,
J.Carey,
like it might not be greener, right?
Respond to me on that part. So I think what Dre is saying, there's nothing wrong with, you know, exploring options, you know, looking for what you want. But there got to come to a point when, like, you have everything in front of you.
Your grass is green.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't feel that way. I think for me personally, it's always going to be okay. So to tie it back to what you were saying about looking left and right, keeping up with the Joneses, right? It's the whole what's the whole adage, right? If you're the first person on the block with the boat, guarantee someone else is going to get a boat after you, right?
Yeah, you gotta get a bigger boat.
Then that's when it starts, right? Or it's, oh, he redid his yard. The way that our society is, the way it is, I feel that the majority of us are always looking
To do better than the
for
next guy.
more.
Or is our society about competition?
Yeah.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like it's everything is competition. When you
So-
go for a job, you're in competition with
I'm gonna
others.
stay on
You're
you.
interviewing.
Dude. I'm gonna stay on you. Pause. It's why do you do better?
Because
if
there are-
my jig is good. Why do I care what you're doing?
Okay, put it this way: if you left a good job for a great job, are you still gonna feel bad because you left a good job,
Yeah.
but you now have a great one?
Okay. So okay.
But the whole thing, like the grass is greener, you have a great
grass
job.
sometimes is greener.
But you have a great job. Are you ready with all the great job problems?
Yeah. And so
That's like being. I'd rather have rich problems than poor problems.
So what my question
True,
is, why are you even looking? I think I didn't hit you on that part.
Because
it's just why are you even looking? If you have such a good situation in front of you, what are you looking for?
You know what? I didn't used to be that way. I used to be content.
Okay.
What changed?
And then after I did an evaluation and I figured, for the last, 8-9 years, I've severely undervalued myself because I've been so content with where I'm at. So it flipped a switch. And then ever since then, it's been the exact opposite. Now it's, I'm good now, what's next?
So
Not everyone can deal with it.
I heard the word content come up a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because relationship wise, content is not always a good thing. Like, meaning like I'm gonna go day to day with you and I'm okay with it. I'm not angry with it. I'm not happy with it. It's just cool.
I think the counter argument there is, and I've talked to several single people who have said this, have you seen what actually is out in this motherfucker? If you are in a good situation, stay in that good situation.
Yeah.
My counter argument to that, though, is it is human nature to want to be like, well, what else is out there? Because we have been raised in a society that says you need to go progress and do something better at every turn. And my argument, to opposite of what Dre I think is saying, is that you don't just get to turn it off, a switch on and off. If you've been cultured your entire life to progress and do better and do this and look left, look right, oh, this is coming, that's not coming, let me be aware. And then now all of a sudden I just have to stop and stay in this lane and be totally focused on one thing for the rest of my life, which is dope. Don't get me wrong, but it's not natural.
Go ahead, J.Carey. You was about to say something.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, I think certain events can make it happen. Like I said, like I had to do like a self-evaluation, and it's like, damn, like I've been doing this for this long. I need to do something better, right? Now, at the same time, the people that I left that are still there, they're doing just fine. They're still fine. Everyone's different, so you know it. There's also a flip side to it. You know, you could just keep moving and moving and moving and never stop, and then it just becomes a rat race. So that's the whole thing. You know, if like you said, you talk to the single people and they're telling you what's really out there. It's like, okay, but you got to remember how down you've been for how many years. Now you're gonna start it all over again. We all know the infamous tweet thread aimed at J.Carey explaining what they are doing today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to know that Dell's like, fuck it, I could deal with it? Or some days he just goes in his home and closes those curtains and just wishes he had his old bitch back. Because, damn.
Yeah.
So it's how you deal with it.
Respectfully.
He didn't cheat up.
Respectfully, his
Dre,
bitch.
what
I
was
just
you
don't know
about
her
to say, my
name.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't cheat up.
He cheated
So-
down.
He cheated down.
He
Cheated
cheated
down?
God.
Like,
So-
what was the
Before we
tweet?
go.
Dale Curry or Steph Curry's not the only one hitting threes.
Oh, okay. So then he was.
She was a three.
Let's
So
not go
he
on
was
this tangent.
convinced. He was convinced for whatever reason. Like, you know what? I'm not getting whatever. I think it's gonna be better over here.
Okay.
He tried it out and it wasn't better.
So
Because
now-
9 times out of 10, it's
I don't-
not better over there.
I don't think that was grass is greener. I thought that was.
I mean, in a way, right?
I'm
Again,
gonna,
like
I'm
you've
gonna
been
frolic
down.
in this other yard, but I know my grass is
I'm
green
a
right
frolic
here.
in the other
Well,
yard.
but I mean,
My
but
grass
people
is
do it
good.
though.
I know
People
my
do it.
grass
You hear
is
it all the
green.
time. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, so and so they've been married. They got together when they were 20. Boom, at 40 they divorced, and now he's found some new 20-year-old. Like, it's people do it all the time, man.
She wasn't 20.
So you actually brought up a
know?
new jig. You brought me a new jig. Knowing your grass is good.
Yeah.
But you still are like,
lush, forest green.
that grass over there is
With
cut
iron.
differently.
Yeah, good iron in
It's
there.
got it got the lines.
It got
The lines
shaped
and
different.
diagonal.
You are going to naturally look up at that other yard and be like, damn, they do got the lines over there.
But I know.
They got the pretty lights.
I
They
know.
got-
I get it. Like, we are human. We are
human.
flawed. We are flawed.
Yeah.
We are a flawed
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
So you stand up and like, oh man, I know that grass is dope. But why can't we be like, you know what? I know that grass is dope, but
So
I'm
is
good.
mine. Yeah.
I would argue 8 times out of 10, it is like, I'm good here.
Yeah.
Now there is that 2 times out of 10 where it's just like, let me go hop this fence. But 8 times out of 10, it's gonna be like, yeah, because if I hop this fence, I actually gotta run and go get the lawnmower, and I still gotta water. I gotta add the iron and all that other shit. Because but there's nothing wrong with looking and realizing shit. If I'm looking, I actually gotta put in that extra work or something that I actually don't want to do.
But
To
we're talking
Trey's
about
point.
there's one thing with looking, and then there's the wondering what if.
What if? Yeah.
That's
There's
fair.
like you can look and admire, but I think what we're talking about is
what if.
What if? And then that leads you to, let me go ahead and
Hop the fence.
let me go ahead
this
and
fence
well,
I mean, that's an
we
extreme
watch,
example.
so we ain't hopping no
but
fence. We're gonna go and open
We'll
the
go.
gate.
yeah,
Oh,
again,
Walk
go ahead,
around.
Go ahead.
It's- I mean, of course, using that relationship, I think it's more muddy that way. But like, if we're just talking even when we're talking money, like you said, how you talked about the job, okay? You and your neighbor used to work at the same place. Now your neighbor works at another place. He's saying he makes $15K more, but now he has to drive an hour more each day. And so he's spending more money that way. And
So what's
there's
the grass
always
greener?
stuff to weigh.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Is
was
it
the
greener?
grass
He's
actually
not home as
greener?
much.
Yeah.
He can't see his grass. And so now it's like, okay, well, is he doing better or am I doing just fine where I'm at? The majority of people, the way that we're raised in the society is, I've got to do better eventually.
So let me ask you this. Now that we at that place where we're looking on the other side of the fence, do you make those moves? Do you have the expectation to come back? Like, do you think you can go over there?
It depends on your situation. It depends on what we're talking about. Again, we can't generalize this stuff. So let's say it's
Work.
opposite, right? It's opposite from work to romantic relationships. So romantic relationships is, if you go see if that grass is greener, know that risk you're taking. So if you go to that other lawn, there's a chance like, the lawn that you had watered, you put your blood, sweat, and tears in, you nurtured all that shit, that is gone. For the most part, that is gone. Opposed to work situations or other personal situations, it's okay to wonder, it's okay to dabble a little bit. It's okay to walk in there a little bit, see if it's for you. And if not, you can go back.
So you go out there and you test the waters, as you can say. You test the waters. You go over here and you do whatever you need to do. And I come back and my grass don't want me anymore.
Like with personal relationships, for the most part, that's what's going to happen.
Well, yeah.
Use a lie.
That's the risk
Use a cheat.
you take.
And I think that brings everything together. Like you looking and you looking and you looking. Are you forgetting that, hey, if I start venturing off, am I going to forget, hey, this right here is this.
I go back to where there's nothing wrong with being content. So what is content? It's like if you're at peace, right?
So
you happy.
I don't like the word content. So we got
But
Why don't you like the word content?
Because-
Why don't you like
why
the
is
word
it
content?
negative
the
to you?
word content to me means settling. Like I'm okay.
That's how you.
This.
I got you. But I think that's what a lot of people
Everyone
take it as.
settles.
But really, like content just means you're happy.
You're
You're
good.
at peace.
Right.
You're
Exactly.
good.
Exactly.
My bills are paid. My food's on the table. My wife is happy. My kids is happy. They don't want for nothing. I'm straight.
So Jamelle, help
there's
me with
nothing
another
wrong
word.
with that.
But no. My point there is you don't like the word content because in our society, content is a negative
Negative.
connotation.
So I said, why is it negative to you?
How you
Yeah.
know what the big words connotation?
6-point word.
Yeah, you perceive it
Yo,
as
can
you
look up connotation.
you perceive it as negative, but that's kind of, it's a pro and con, right? I think again, like you said, our American society, we are raised to like nothing is enough. Keep pushing. You want more. You want to be the 1%
Right.
or the 0.1%.
Right.
You're to strive for that. The good thing is that does progress our society forward. That keeps us innovating. It keeps us pushing. It keeps us to like, look, we cannot settle, right? We can't be happy where we're at. As a society, we shouldn't be happy where we're at.
Right.
We should always progress to something. But the con is we can't sit back and appreciate all the good shit of where we're at. But you need both in the larger scale thinking.
And not to put a button, but it is all about perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are content where you are, then your perspective is dope. But if you are not content where you are, that's when you start to wonder, even within that natural desire to look left and look right. Everybody's going to look left. Everybody's going to look right. But if you are not content, or if your perception isn't of what do you want it to be in that situation, then that's when you're going to hop the fence. You're going to walk around the fence, right? So I would argue that being content is what you are striving for, but that is counter to what we have been taught our entire lives.
So J.Carey, I think I want to go off of what Jamelle was just saying. Being content and using that word as a negative way, things like that. I want to hear what you think. Like, it's okay. I think as Dre was saying, we're striving for more and things like that. And being content can be a good thing. Like, I did great here. You know what I mean? And I want to stay here. I'm good where I'm at. And to what I was saying, being content means I'm here, I'm okay, I don't need to do anything else.
Okay. So you go through school, 12 years of
Great school.
grade school,
Mm-hmm.
college, you might do 4, you might do 8. Couple of degrees later, cool. You send out a bunch of resumes and you only get a call for one.
Mm-hmm.
You get that job. Did you settle?
I don't think the word would. So I think you get.
So it's like you got the job,
Yeah.
one of them, but it's like you applied to all these others.
You took what you can get.
Is that settling? Or is that you saying, damn it, I got my shit, let's go? Same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's back to what Jamelle was saying, perspective. Some person might be like, you know what? Yes, I'm in there. Just like Dre said. Now I'm about to get my foothold in society. I can pay my bills. I can.
Boop, boop, boop,
Okay,
boop.
but then that other person might say, why do those other companies turn me down? This is bullshit. So now you're pissed at this place, looking elsewhere, because you feel there's more.
Or the other jobs was paying more too.
Or whatever,
Or
you know.
more benefits,
You
it could
should
be
you should
more.
be able to choose and say, I'll turn this one down. But like if you only got that one offer and they hired you, is that settling?
And it goes to
I
that
don't
perspective. It's kind of hard to separate settling, right, with
Then,
contentment.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Or
about to say.
is settling bad?
So maybe that's what we need to talk. Settling, being content, like growth, all those type of things. How do we, how do those words differentiate from each other?
Well, they tie into each other, right? So I fucking looked it up. I was on my Jamelle shit.
You're welcome.
shit.
So content, in a state of peaceful happiness, or
That
if
doesn't-
used as a verb, it's to be satisfied.
It's like the
right?
worst word ever because
To
it's the most vague
satisfy, right?
definition. Yes.
So if I get my one job offer, I could be satisfied.
Because all you need is one offer.
Did I settle?
True.
Did I settle? If another job that I didn't get was paying higher, that could be perceived as settling, or I could have no job and I am satisfied. I can fucking go to work.
So
So
it's all that
let me
perception.
ask
It's
you guys
all
this:
jumbled together.
would you teach your kids to settle,
See?
or would you teach your kids to be content?
So what we need to understand is the definition of all the words. So when I say content, when I personally say content, meaning you have many other things, big or small, everything, I'm good.
But I just
This
just
is
told
where
you the
I'm at.
definition
Yeah.
of content, right?
Yeah. So I don't.
See, it's playing with your emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it becomes a thing where it's like everything's ties into each other. So one guy's content could be like, "Oh man, you just being," and then another his is actually, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm
where
at
I am
peace.
I'm
See?
at peace.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to worry about.
Okay.
And then on our side, we could be like, "Man, there's so much more you could do." Bring it in with work. I could be happy with my 9 to 5. I'm good. This is perfect. Where I want to be. This is everything. And then you might be like, "Dog, you can be a director. You can be this. You can be that." But you're settling. I'm using another word. Content, settling, and all those. And I think that's the hard part with society. I think everyone brought it up where as humans, we should strive for more. As humans, I think I don't know, Jamelle, you brought up as a guy shouldn't be happy with just that. You know what I mean? It should be wanting more. But
We're wired to want more.
We're wired to want more.
we're wired to more. That was what you said. Yeah, wired to want more.
We've never been wired to stop.
And that's
And
why
so-
we're at where we're at.
Us being wired to stop, is that good? Is that bad? Is that something we need to get off of?
I mean, that we're not wired to stop.
Yeah.
It's necessary that we're not wired to stop.
But that also leads to a whole, again, smorgasbord of other things, right? So we're wired as Americans to keep going, push forward. We're also one of the fattest countries in the world. We're also one of the unhealthiest countries
people
with
get content. They
hypertension
get
because
content.
people are striving, going fast, so on and so forth.
Live with Jamelle to get politics.
But because people are striving to do so much more. When other countries, it's like, yo, we are taking a siesta in the middle of the day because I know I need to be able to relax myself. Now they may not be as financially
Pause
stable
right there,
or
pause right
strong.
there. I like how you said that. We are aware that, hey, we are good.
Yo.
We need to take a break.
No, fuck that. That is
No?
bullshit. No,
Why?
I completely
Why?
disagree.
Why?
look, first of all, we're not Americans.
So
in
you
this,
can tell a nigga's
no.
mad. First of all,
First of all,
first of
we're not
all,
like Americans. Like we're in this motherfucking silo. Like we're the only fucking country getting fat.
American exceptionalism.
There you go with that fucking myth. Anyway, like nobody's inventing shit. Nobody's progressing in the motherfucking world. Like we're the only fat motherfuckers. Like our need to progress or strive forward has nothing to fucking do with our diet and how we're eating and how we're sedentary and that shit. That's some whole other shit. So I do not like.
I'm
the
sorry.
motherfucking example.
I'm sorry I made you so upset.
But no, don't put that shit on.
Which
on-
brings me
on
back to
weight
my last
or whatever.
point. Fuck Trump. Fuck his
Oh
whole
my
staff,
God.
his crew, his record label. Fuck Trump and all them motherfuckers down in Florida and Mar-a-Lago and all that shit.
Hey,
All right,
hold
all
up.
right.
Shout out to Mar-a-Lago Records.
Mar-a-Lago is great.
I'm sorry.
All right, so let's break it down. We've been talking about a whole lot of shit about grass being greener was the main jig. So I've learned through a lot of shit. There's being selfish. You got to learn how to, strive for more and being okay with striving for more. It's not about looking left and right. It's just I want to do better for myself. And then you have that one person who's not content, and I'm using that word content, with his lifestyle. And he's looking, what else can I do? And that's not bad either.
Hey, it depends on where you at.
As
Look,
long as it's not to your detriment, that's how I feel. You
There-
can be content.
there it is.
You
Yeah.
can be content, and you could, like you said, turn into the fat motherfucker that's just sitting there because you're so content. You don't want to do anything else.
I'm gonna go slightly.
Hold on, Jamelle.
Or
Get your shit off.
you could
Pause.
just keep looking up until eventually your shit is broke because all you only see up.
and you never see where the fuck
And
you at.
you falling everywhere.
Give it to me, Jamelle. Pause.
We don't have to keep saying pause.
I'm sorry. I just.
My point here, and I'm gonna get a
Brooklyn,
slightly political with this, but
I'm from the East Coast.
Were you a
we
poli-sci
were
major?
Yes, we were content with the Obamas and the George Bushes of the world, but then there were those people of color, I'm going to specifically target, who voted for Trump because they wanted a bull in a china shop and they wanted to see something different and we need to do all this other shit. And then look where the fucking country got. If we were content with the way that we were with that the shit was going, which wasn't bad in the first place, we wouldn't have had the shit that we're going on here, right? My argument or my point there being, it is okay to be content if that's what your perception allows it to be.
There we go. Now, okay.
You need to do what works for you. If that's in personal relationships, if that's in business relationships, if that's whatever you're doing, your perception is key of what it is that is perfect for you. And once again, fuck Trump.
That's Dre. Makes some sense.
What the hell?
No, it's
It makes sense if you don't.
that's
think.
funny. just because I like to argue with this guy, I would argue that we were not content, or motherfuckers were not content with Obama. That's why Obama got elected, because niggas were not content.
Yeah, and then look what happened.
So, yeah, niggas were not content, and then that's what happened. I was saying niggas were not content. That's what led to this shit,
Yeah.
which goes to J.Carey's point. Motherfuckers keep looking up and like don't appreciate where shit is and the good. But anyway.
Yeah, it's.
Anyway, no, I agree with you, Jay, what you said, where it does depend on that individual's perspective and how they take with what being content is. I don't equate being content with stagnant, because you can be in the same job for 20 years, but building a fucking nest egg where you can retire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Or
be
the
straight.
network, Like,
Or bringing other forms of income. So I don't equate being content as negative or being stagnant. So with that being said, as far as is the grass greener, it goes what J.Carey said. It might be,
It might be.
or it might not be. So if you're going to go out on that limb, regardless of what the situation is, if it's work relationship or romantic relationship, if you're going to go on that limb and dip your toe in the grass, see if it's soft or whatever, just know there are risks, necessary risks. There are risks with going to that other situation. You that's your own personal decision, weighing the pros and cons, weighing the result of that decision, if the juice is gonna be worth the squeeze.
Bars.
Whoa.
Bars. J.Carey, you got anything else, my guy?
I mean, it's a tough balancing act. That's all I can say. I mean, that's speaking from personal experience. It's just You know that you can do better. Sometimes I don't want to do better. Sometimes I'm just fine. You know, some days I don't want to strive, but then other days it's, now we have, you know, kids and everything now. It's just like what we said. I won't even go into that whole thing, but again, if you eat, how would we expect our kids to approach the same situation? Are you going to give them advice one way or the other? You know, so I would have to apply that to myself. If I'm going to be the example, okay, well, do I show them that it's good to settle or be content, or are you just never ever going to be content until you're done, until it's over?
Can I pose one question for everybody?
Get it out there, bro.
You pose that question with, how do I raise my kids?
Yeah.
How are you raising your kids?
That's a big question.
It's
And right there,
That's a big
he
question.
just brought up another jig.
Oh, my bad.
So
Okay.
next time,
Let's,
we gonna be here.
Let's table that
all
until
day.
next
We're
week.
gonna be here all day. But I appreciate everybody's opinion. You know, grass is greener. It's up. It's down. Looking left and right, you got to be aware of what's going on. You got to strive for more. Is being okay, but you got to be content with what you have and be happy with it, without listening to anybody else. But at the end of the day, we all wash. I appreciate y'all. We wash, but we in this together.
My
Wanna
grass
get one
is
time?
luscious.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
If I want something else, I might add some tulips in there or something. Maybe a water
see
feature.
now
Hey,
you
don't
see.
bring
Now-
I'll
see,
do a
now
water
you- now you
feature.